the ancient belief system was becoming blurred by the flood of foreign influence. By the 2nd century AD, the Sphinx was among the many images that were misunderstood. It was no longer a man-made construction built for a king, but rather a creation of the gods.
Your fearful form is the work of the deathless gods. To spare the flat and fertile lands, they placed you in your depression, a rocky island from which they banished the sand. They placed you as a neighbor to the pyramids, as a holy servant who vigilantly watches the blessed Osiris. Ancient inscription, 2nd century AD.
Like the cycles of restoration and renewal, the Sphinx would again fall into a state of decline. As Christian theology gripped the civilization, the original beliefs which gave life to the mummies and monuments were desperately gasping for air. It was during the 4th century when the temples were closed or destroyed. The last of the hieroglyphs were carved in stone, and the ancient culture so closely associated with the pharaonic rule ended. The creature that embodied both God and man, the Great Sphinx, shared in the destructive time. It was covered to its neck in sand, having once again been left in the desert's boiling embrace. By 640 AD, Egypt was an Arab nation and no longer an ancient empire. The meaning behind the spectacular monuments, massive structures, and carefully wrapped mummies had drifted away. The beliefs that had once given these impressive images their firm foundation had faded. It seemed the ancients' #1 enemy, time, had finally won the age-old struggle. The civilization was lost. As time passed, ancient symbols like the Great Sphinx became a mystery. Even the paint still evident upon the creature's face shed no light on its true significance.
A little more than a bow shot from these pyramids is a colossal figure of a head and neck projecting from the earth. The body to which the head belongs is said to be buried under the earth. On the face is a reddish tint and a red varnish. The face is remarkably beautiful. The mouth in particular has a charming expression. It seems to be smiling gently. Abdul Latif, Arab doctor, 1200 AD.
The Sphinx and the giant monuments it so valiantly protected for thousands of years were no longer sacred. The reasons for their construction were nothing more than a lost memory, but they still served a purpose. They became the stone quarries from which the modern-day Egypt would be built. The next turning point for the battered monuments and sand-encumbered Sphinx came when a battle was fought within their range. A young Corsican general was the victor, and his invasion would have lasting effects. This general was Napoleon Bonaparte.
When Napoleon came in 1798 to Egypt, not only as a military conqueror, but with a whole team of surveyors and scholars to reconnoiter the entire land and all its monuments, and actually it was Napoleon that opened up ancient Egypt to Europe.
Perhaps the most important discovery during the French invasion was the uncovering of a slab of black rock. The rock would become known as the Rosetta Stone, and in 1822, it became the artifact responsible for breaking the ancients' 1,500-year silence. But it did nothing for the Great Sphinx. It remained buried until the 1920s. It took over 10 years to remove the sand, and excavations continue to this day. As archaeologists repair, restore, and once again renew the ancient statue, they continue to search for information buried somewhere within its long history. For now, many questions remain unanswered. The Great Sphinx is a part of the giant jigsaw puzzle created so long ago by the ancients.